What's up, everybody? Welcome to Call to the Bullpen. I'm David Payne with Brad Zampar and Jimmy Miller. Let's play ball. Guys, we're going to get the elephant in the room out of the way right away so that we can have a nice, smooth sailing episode after that. So let's get right into it. Trevor Bauer was handed down a 324-game suspension. That's 2 full seasons for violating MLB's joint domestic violence, sexual assault, and child abuse policy. I don't want to spend too much time on this because I think that lots of people have lots of opinions, and I feel strongly that my opinion is the right opinion. And I don't want to get into any kind of argument or debate. I think we just say what we think and move on. I think that 2 years isn't enough. I think that there's a lot of misunderstanding about what actually happened, with people saying that he was found not guilty, which is not true. There's no trial. You can't be not guilty or innocent if there is no trial. And even if someone is not guilty, that not guilty does not equate to innocent. Those are not synonyms. OJ was not guilty. So it's not, it's not as cut and dry as he's not guilty, he's innocent, this and that. Listen, MLB did their investigation. MLB found wrongdoing, period, point blank. Whether there's a trial or not, whether the DA presses charges or not, MLB's investigation found that he violated MLB's rules and he has to face the punishment for that. I personally don't think he's going to throw another pitch in Major League Baseball. I think even after the suspension, which does not count the games that he spent on administrative leave. No retroactive anything. It begins, I believe it begins on Friday, and that will go for the next 2 years. So I don't see him pitching again after that, though. So I guess the only back and forth I'd want to have on this is if you guys see him pitching again after that. I personally think he's untouchable. I think he's going to be playing with Addison Russell in the Mexican League, but give you guys a chance to give your thoughts. And then I guess my one question would be, do you see him pitching again?
Yeah, I don't see him pitching again. I think he's going to continue his, YouTube stuff that he does and make fun videos, I guess. I think that's how he'll keep his name out there. But yeah, I just don't think Major League Baseball wants to turn into the NFL with all this domestic abuse stuff. So they're using him as a poster child, I guess, for how they're going to start to crack down.
Yeah, I don't know if he'll never throw a pitch, but it won't be for a long time. I'm sure even a year past his suspension time, he wouldn't be throwing a pitch in the majors. And even then, he'll be in his mid-30s at that point, and I don't even know if he'd want to take a chance on him. So, yeah.
Brad's having internet issues again.
Definitely don't see him anytime soon, at least.
Yeah, I agree. I think that MLB, Jimmy, you kind of mentioned like making a poster child out of him and this and that. And I think that really the policy needs to be zero tolerance. The policy needs to be, Ozuna from the Braves got 20 games, right? Like Chapman is still blowing games for the Yankees, which I mean, thank God he's around doing that still, but like he shouldn't be pitching still. Like this, it should be, if the investigation finds wrongdoing, like automatic ban, point blank. Like that's, and I don't think that is really like a controversial take that like if you are a domestic abuser, you should not be able to play professional baseball. I don't know. I guess that's a hot take for some people, but not for me. But some hot takes that we did have earlier on in the year was I had the hot take of Corey Kluber throwing no-hitters in back-to-back years. Brad, you had someone who was back-to-back. Who was yours?
Joe
Musgrove, yes. You had Joe Musgrove, but none of us had the actual answer. None of us had Mets combined no-hitter on our bingo card. So, Jimmy, walk us through a magical night in Queens last night for the second no-hitter in Mets franchise history.
Yeah, so yesterday night, Tyler McGill, Drew Smith, Joely Rodriguez, Seth Lugo, and Edwin Diaz combined for a no-hitter with a 3-0 victory over the Phillies. There were 6 walks given up, but this is the second no-hitter in franchise history and the first combined no-hitter. Also on McGill, he's 4-0 on the year over 5 starts with a 1.93 ERA over 28 innings with 27 strikeouts. So he's having a Cy Young caliber year.
I think that, Jimmy, you're not going to like what I have to say on this, man, but a combined no-hitter is not a no-hitter.
I agree with that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
I mean,
I'm not going to debate
that. Maybe just because it's like your team or whatever. Like, I don't know if the O's threw a combined no-hitter, like I'd be hyped about it. Like, it's cool. But if you need 5 pitchers to throw a no-hitter, I don't know. It doesn't sit the same with me, but it's very, very cool. And especially like to have that on top of all the momentum the Mets are already building this year. It's got to feel really good. You know, number 2 on the power rankings last week. It's got to feel, we talked last week about how there's a different feel. And I have to imagine that as a Mets fan, you're that different feel is even more exemplified after this no-hitter. So how are you feeling moving forward into, another week? Going to give a spoiler, I guess, another week high up on the power rankings. How are you feeling?
Oh, I'm just feeling really good, obviously. I think Buck Showalter is the biggest game changer. I feel like this team has the ability to be successful the entire year. I feel like they're not going to have that big drop off that they do halfway through the year, come back towards the end of the year, and then fall off again. We have the starting pitching. The bullpen's kind of shaky. There were a lot of walks, like I said, given up last night. So obviously I think that's going to come back to bite us. But I'm just wondering where the Phillies offense is. They have not been great this year. Schwarber's been terrible. Castellanos has been pretty good, but yeah, I'm feeling very good about the Mets.
Now, I guess I'll give everyone a chance right now if they want to change their picks for the next no-hitter. Anybody want to make a change?
Yeah, I'll go Dylan Cease instead of Logan Webb. Dylan Cease has looked great this year. He doesn't give up a lot of walks or hits, not susceptible to the long ball either. I think that he's stepped up in a big way, and I think he's going to throw the next no-hitter.
Cool. All right, we got one change. Brad, you're sticking with Musgrove. I'm gonna ride it out with my guy Kluber for now. But all right, cool little change there. And Brad, you have a really interesting story to tell us about a really meaningful debut that happened this week. So the floor is all yours.
Yeah, so the Giants have been having a little bit of an injury problem and a little bit of a COVID outbreak. So there's been a few open roster spots. So they finally recalled for his MLB debut after 11 years in the minors. Jason Kizzan, he was a 2011 8th-round pick by the Tigers. He played in 1,132 minor league games, over 4,000 at-bats. He hit .275, 83 homers, and he had 541 RBIs. And in his debut the other night, they lost 14-4, but he went 0 for 3, but he walked, so he was on base. And after the game, they were asking what his best part of the whole night was. And he said the only thing that really mattered was his 2-year-old son finally seeing him make his major league debut. And while he won't remember it now, down the road, it's definitely something that has meaning to him.
That's just a fantastic story. Like, how can you not be romantic about baseball, right? And it was just last year that Drew Robinson showed up in a game for the Giants, right?
Yeah, and then I think the year or two before that, it was Adam Greenberg.
Yeah, so how can you not root for them? How can you not be behind them a little bit? There's no like bad characters on that team, and it just seems to be like feel good story after feel good story. So I'm just really loving following their like low key surprising success over there and great stories like that. Now, Jimmy, you ready for our MLB Players of the Week?
Yes, I am. So starting off, the AL Player of the Week. Though I thought the Yankees should have gotten Matt Olson or Freddie Freeman, they got Anthony Rizzo, and he's been money. 5 home runs, 11 RBIs, and a .370 batting average these past 7 days. AL Rookie of the Week, we have a comeback, back-to-back, Joe Ryan. Another shutout start, 7.1 innings pitched, 7 1/3 innings pitched, 9 strikeouts, and 1 hit. AL Pitcher of the Week, we talked about him, I think, last episode, Alek Manoah. He was 2-0 over the week with a 1.38 ERA over 13 1/3 innings pitched. NL Player of the Week, he started off very slow, but he's picked it up. Paul Goldschmidt with 13 hits, a .448 batting average, and this 467 on base percentage. NL Rookie of the Week, I went with Mackenzie Gore of the Padres. 5 innings pitched with 10 Ks and just 1 earned run. NL Pitcher of the Week, my Cy Young favorite, Walker Buehler, with a shutout, 9 innings pitched, 10 strikeouts, 0 runs, and 0 walks.
So Manoah having a good week. I guarantee he didn't try to fight anyone or accuse anyone of cheating.
Yeah.
No, nobody's cheating when you're doing well, Alec Manoah. But Brad, do you want to talk about the Anthony Rizzo one, or do you want to let me take that one?
Well, when you have the guy who hit the furthest, the least furthest amount of home run balls in an ever happening 3-homer night, it's just, and it counted, and it was against our pitching too.
He has 1 home run. If Anthony Santander could catch a beach ball with a fishing net, like that guy was watching balls hit the fence. It's like standing there as balls are hitting the top of the fence and bouncing over. Like, put the glove up and it's in it. He hit, what was it, like 950 feet of home runs or something? Like,
yeah.
I know that like the StatCast projection of his last home run said that it was a home run in 4 out of 30 ballparks, and it said that it went 426 feet. But those projections, right? And a lot of Yankees fans were like, I guess 4 other parks are little league parks too. No, here's what happened. Those projections show the exit velo and they show the launch angle and how far a ball should go if it's hit at that launch angle that hard. But what it doesn't show is park factors, wind, stuff like that, where that ball should have gone 426 feet, but it hit coming down on the fence that is 314 feet away from home plate because the wind blew it back a little bit. It was a 314-foot home run. It's not out anywhere else. That was ridiculous. And Anthony Santander is half to blame. Orioles pitching is half to blame. I think Anthony Rizzo is 0% to blame for those home runs. But Brad, minor league players of the week. Let's hear it.
All right, so on the AAA level, we finally have our first pitching award. It is going to be Jonathan Diaz with the Salt Lake Bees. He's not on the Angels' top 30. He is a left-hander out of Venezuela. He's 25 years old now. He signed as a 16-year-old out of Boston. This is his second year with the Angels, and he had a cup of coffee last year with them in the majors. But he threw 8 shutout innings against the against the Rangers AAA affiliate down in Rockland or Rock Hill. It's one of those two for the Express, and he was just disgusting all night. He almost Maddoxed it because they won the game, but he didn't get the 9, so he couldn't get the 8 less pitches. He threw 92 pitches there for technically a complete game, but at the same time, it wasn't. Down on the AA level, it was also another Angels prospect, not inside their top 30, and it's going to be Trey Cabbage. He's an outfielder for the Rocket City Trash Pandas. He was 8 for 19, homered 3 times, 7 RBIs, slugged 947, a 1.489 OPS, which included a 121-mile-an-hour double, which is the hardest hit ball by a lefty in the StatCast era. Wow. Which is crazy to think that a guy down in AA is breaking that record. And then on the A-ball level, it's going to be a guy that Jim, I'm sure, was high on at one point, and it was Pete Crow Armstrong. He's an outfielder for the Myrtle Beach Pelicans. He's the Cubs' number 6 prospect. He was in the Javier Baez deal last summer at the deadline, and all he really does is just get on base. He was 11 for 21, good for a 5.24 average. He homered once, walked twice to only 1 strikeout, and also swiped a bag.
Trey Cabbage of the Rocket City Trash Pandas sounds like a bad libs. That's such a ridiculous sentence. Dude, that might be like the first time anybody's ever said all those words together in a sentence in human history. That's awesome.
It might be.
That's hilarious. But this is something that I love about the minor league players of the week is that you get some guys like Diaz and Cabbage who are like outside of top 30s who maybe typically wouldn't get that kind of attention like that. You know, the top 30 guys in the minors kind of get all the spotlight. but there's tons of other minor league players who are balling out like these guys. So that's why we love the minor league players of the week. Now, going into our umpires of the week here, we praised Angel Hernandez last week. Like you gave him an honorable mention for best umpire of the week. And then the very next day on national TV, he turned in an absolutely abysmal performance. And our episode came out the next day and we're there praising Angel Hernandez while the whole world is like down his throat. And like, I don't know, we try to be nice, man. We try to say nice things about you. And then you do, like, Angel, come on, help us out. Throws a bone. But he's an honorable mention again this week for the worst for that game. But go ahead and give us our best and worst.
All right, so they both came in the same series. I'm going to start with our worst umpire because it occurred on Wednesday, which is before the other one, and it's going to be Gabe Morales. He did the game Wednesday in Washington with Miami in town. Miami ended up winning the game 2-1, but his overall favor was 2.28 runs for Washington, which is just absolutely gross. His overall accuracy for the day, 92%. Overall consistency for the day, 92%. The only thing he did all day correct was call balls, 97%, right on with the average. And his called strike accuracy was 82%. And then the very next day, they have the best umpire of the entire week. It is Chris Siegel. The Marlins ended up winning 3-2. He was plus 0.18 for the Marlins. Accuracy for the day was 99%. His consistency for the day was 98%. His called ball accuracy was 100% for the day.
Wow.
And his called strike percentage was 98%. And his most impactful call occurred in the bottom of the first inning with no runners on and no outs. And that was the only missed call of the entire day.
Wow, what a masterclass in umpiring. That's beautiful. Talk about two extremes in that series too.
Back to back.
Yeah, that's crazy. But heading now to our top 5 plays of the week. Here we go.
Are you okay? Like really? I'm fine. If I'm a B-side,
Rendon across. I think he did. He got him.
Playing this conservatively would have been fine too, to play it on a hop and make sure you didn't give up extra bases. But why? When you can do that. Beautiful play by Happ.
Are you kidding me? Got him. This guy's out of his mind.
And Segura lines one to center. On comes Nimmo.
Dives and he made the catch.
Nimmo with a splendid play to take a base hit away from Segura. Brandon Nimmo now a fixture in center field. He has guts.
Over the line and left. Long run. Marisnik. Oh! No! He did not! He did not just make that catch! Jake.
Now we're going to head to Cooper with this week's MLB colorized photo of the week.
Welcome back to Photo of the Week. This week's picture features a portrait of Hank Aaron. Hank, born on February 5th, 1934, amassed a legendary career, tallying a batting average of .305, 3,771 hits, and 755 home runs. A total which would not be passed until Barry Bonds hit his 756th on August 7, 2007. He totaled 25 All-Star selections, the most by any player ever. In 1957, Aaron's Braves won the World Series and he collected National League MVP. Aaron would play his final game on October 3, 1976, then be inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame 6 years later on August 1, 1972. Throughout Hank's career and chase for Babe Ruth's home run record, Aaron was not seen fondly by many. Hank continually received death threats, verbal abuse on the field, and lived life looking over his shoulder. Hank Aaron died on January 22, 2021, just months before the Braves' 2021 World Series championship. They were kept reminded of Aaron, though, as the 2021 team won 44 games before the All-Star break, 44 games after, and won the World Series in the 44th week of the year. Now back to the guys.
Now we're going to head to our power rankings. Power rankings are presented by Fit and Faded. Fit and Faded promotes cannabis as a dietary supplement for fitness enthusiasts. Head to fit-faded.com to check out their products ranging from athleisure wear to protein and pre-workout to CBD products. Getting into the sour rankings here, the worst of the worst from the last week. We're thinking the Reds might set the single season all-time losses record. They are so bad. There's almost nothing redeeming about that team outside of Hunter Green's pretty cool. Jonathan India is a baller, but there's not much to talk about with the Reds. The Nationals are number 2. The Rangers at number 3. The Red Sox are made their way to the sour rankings now. The Red Sox have seriously underperformed, and for the first time this year find themselves on the sour rankings. And number 5 are the guys I'm wearing right now. I'm wearing a Pirates jersey. It's a Barry Bonds jersey. Deal with it. Heading to the power rankings, coming in at number 5, a bit of a surprise, even to myself a little bit, is the New York Yankees at number 5. Number 4 is the San Francisco Giants. At 3, same as last week, you got the Blue Jays at 3. Jimmy's New York Mets after that no-hitter at 2. And the LA Dodgers holding on to the top spot again. I have a feeling we're going to be seeing them there for a long time. I think it might be Reds and Dodgers at the top for a long time, guys. Because, again, we want to talk about 2 extremes. One could set the single-season wins record, and one could set the single-season loss record. That would be fun to see in one season. But that's going to wrap it up for this episode of Call to the Bullpen. Make sure you check us out on social medias. This is going to be our first episode independent of CSMN. So again, follow us at CTBP Pod, at Brad Zampar, at Jimmy_Miller4, at the David Payne. And we'll catch you back here next week with another episode.
Play ball.